Alright, so this is a review of my JetBoil stove. I've had this for about 3 years now, and I've really come to enjoy it. I also have the French press coffee kit, which I will show in the application of this video. Typically, I will also have this little lighter here tucked into this little pouch on the side. I like to keep it all together so I can just pull it out and have all my stuff together. But we take the lid off, you'll see that I have the burner unit nicely tucked on top of the small canister, and at the very bottom, the tripod. And if we pop this plastic cup off on the bottom, we see the bottom of our JetBoil. First thing first is we need to assemble our tripod. The legs fold out and snap into place like so, with the grooves that will snap onto the canister like so. Removing our top cover from our gas canister. I prefer to put the cup onto the burner unit before things get hot. There are these notches in the side that correspond to notches in the side of the burner unit. And you just line them up and twist, and it becomes one unit. We then can screw our burner unit onto our canister, good and tight. Now getting to our French press. Our French press comes in 3 pieces. 2 of them are very small, so be careful not to lose them. These include this little dowel here that screws together in the center where this tag is, and the French press silicone coffee base, which this will screw into. Now when using the French press, you want to route the top cover of the JetBoil, route it through there, screwing it into the base of our silicone French press. This will allow you to do the pressing motion that's necessary to do the French press for the coffee. To ignite our stove, you simply, there it is, turn on the gas, igniting it, and then it'll get nice and hot. And we'll just turn that off because there's actually nothing in my JetBoil. There's a nice foam wrapping around it, as well as this little handle here, because it does get very hot. And inside the container, there are measurements so you can tell how much liquid's in there. I will send a part 2, or I will create a part 2 to show how I put this all back together once this is cooled down. All right, so now we're going to disassemble our JetBoil. First thing you want to do is disconnect the propane tank from the burner unit. You can just snap the legs off carefully. It's not to break it because it is plastic. It can be a little bit tough. There we go. All right. Collapsing the legs down. Putting the cover back on the propane tank, and carefully disassembling the burner unit from the canister. How I like to do it is I put the tripod, the legs in first, the canister in upside down, and the burner unit in upside down. And that all tucks nicely into the canister. We will disassemble our French coffee press here. As mentioned, these parts telescope into each other. All that goes into a separate baggie because they are very small pieces. We will then put our lid, which is also a strainer, back on, putting our cup on the bottom and tucking our lighter into the side, and voila, your JetBoil is back into a compact unit that you can toss in your pack. These things retail, JetBoils retail for a little over $100, and so number one backpacking stove on the market because of how quickly it does boil water, hence the term JetBoil. But because they are so expensive, really, really important to take care of it. You know, losing things like one of these telescoping rods for the French press renders it useless. Hence why I try and keep it in the original packaging and putting it all into a Ziploc baggie. And that is my JetBoil review.